Hello, folks. You're watching an excerpt from a live stream, and tonight we're going to be talking about 4 really great masculine modern releases, classy smelling modern releases from the last 5 years that smell amazing and will get you noticed in all the right ways. Before we do that, don't forget my recommended UK-based fragrance sampling site is Fragrance Samples UK. Go there and use my code Mr. Smelly 1977 for 10% off their amazing range of design and niche fragrances. My recommended USA-based site is decantboutique.com, and there your code is Mr. Smelly 10 for 10% off a stunning array of scents, both highly recommended and linked in the description of this video. Very warm here in the UK this week, and that's why I'm also really glad to endorse these. These are Only Gentleman Mystique fragrance-free wipes. They are fragrance-free, extra large, flushable wipes for all kinds of refreshing purposes. Use the code GENT or follow the link in the description for 5% off your first order at onlygentlemanwipes.co.uk. Here we go. We have 4 fragrances, all with something charming, gentlemanly, perhaps a little bit classic in feel, but they've been released in the last 5 years. Let's check them out. The first one then, which one shall I do first? I think I'll do this one. This is Bortnikoff. Now, Bortnikoff is a house run by the very enigmatic and intriguing perfumer Dmitry Bortnikoff, a Russian gentleman. I believe he's based in Thailand. And they are really famous for their oud-based fragrances in particular. But they have a lot more going for the brand than just oud-based fragrances. And this is exactly one of those. This one is called Moss Cologne. And it really is a remarkable fragrance. So Moss Cologne, as the name would suggest, as you may well be suspected. I'm just trying to get a better reflection of the... Okay, there we go. And it comes now with a little bit more of a fancy lid. This one's a few years old, this bottle, but it's a really amazing fragrance. Okay, so Moss Cologne uses real oak moss in proportions that we perhaps don't see too often. I'm not too sure how much they put in. I don't know. Anyway, 2020 release, Dmitry Bortnikov. I'll give you the note listing. It's an amazing note listing, and it smells as good as it sounds. Okay, you've got sweet orange, grapefruit, bergamot, lemon, oak moss, champaca, violet leaf, nutmeg, ylang ylang, jasmine, oak moss, ambergris, labdanum, atlas cedar, my favorite type of cedar, along with the other type that's also in it, Virginia cedar and tonka bean. It's not the cheapest of fragrances. It's a 50ml bottle here. That's the largest size that they do, and that's going to be $220 on their website. 30ml is their other side. You have the option to get $160, or you can get a 9ml travel spray for just $60. Okay, so I find this one absolutely remarkable. I must admit, I hadn't used it or tried it for a little while, and then I was revisiting it today. I've got it on a piece of paper here. So everything you love about those vintage fragrances that you may have a few bottles of in your cupboard, if you're very lucky, it has that oak moss vibe, that real oak moss feel that just gives it that. It's kind of green, it's mossy, it's something like almost sweet and smooth about it. It's really, really beautiful. So well put together and well balanced. It just smells like a magnificent classic aftershave, but a bit of something magical and new and different in there, because of course Dmitry Bortnikov, it's a very avant-garde kind of fragrance house, really. But this one has a little bit of an atavistic feel. It looks back to olden days in a really, really great way. I find this absolutely really, really good in terms of the longevity, not overly in your face in terms of the projection, but healthy, very good. And look at that color of the juice. Sort of gives you an idea of the level of richness here. So if you're interested in a really great mossy cologne, it's actually classified as a fruity chypre fragrance. I never really know what that means. It's not a classic fougere, actually, you'll be amazed to know. But it has this really, really compelling combination of notes. Lots of different florals in there. A whole kind of a glittering array, a bouquet of florals, different citrusy notes, the sweet orange, and there is this sweet, juicy, succulent element to the fragrance, as well as this kind of warming, masculine muskiness, and an oak and a mossy feel about it. It's absolutely magnificent. Really, really great if you love your classic fragrances, but you want something that doesn't literally smell like you've gone back to the 80s. Moss Cologne from Bortnikov, great one, 2020 release. Okay, moving on, something a little bit more obvious maybe, but I hope you can forgive me. And that one is going to be the well-known and famous Tom Ford's Beau de Jour. So Beau de Jour came out in 2020. You can pick up a 100ml bottle now in the new, I think they used to be in a private blend range, and now it's in this kind of bottle. So we can get this one for a 100ml bottle. They're £152 in the UK. Notes lavender, lavandin, which is the synthetic form of lavender. Interesting that they've bothered to differentiate that. African rosemary, my favorite kind of rosemary. Geranium, oak moss, patchouli, and this one is an aromatic fougere. So hats off to Tom Ford and his brand there, because they've given us several releases, things like Italian cypress, and there are a couple of other fougere type fragrances not too long ago that look back to the olden days in the best possible way and are really, really charming. So this one I consider an absolute classic, beautiful fragrance, very gentlemanly, textbook classic fougere, herbal, a little bit green and mossy, tons of noticeable lavender in there, and absolutely beautiful, really classy and grown-up stuff. Somehow doesn't make you smell too old manish, daddish, or uncleish. So, and the Tom Ford brand, when they do these slightly retro vibed fragrances, have a nice knack of achieving that compromise. So I highly recommend Tom Ford's Beau de Jour. I should talk about that one more often on my channel. And we got 2 more to go. So the next one that I'm going to feature, actually really interesting brand, reasonably recently launched brand overall, I think. And this is Static Olfactive. Based in the USA, established in 2023, the brand. And the fragrance that I can't open is Into the Wild. And this is a stunning photorealistic green fragrance. I would almost define it as a neo-fougere. It's beyond fougere. Into the Wild, very green, very, very verdant, very bright, very three-dimensional. Whereas Tom Ford's Beau de Jour is a textbook classic fougere, and this takes the concept to a slightly more modernistic and intriguing place. Lovely presentation, snazzy box there, and we get a nice little card here. Let's have a look at what they say about the fragrance and the note listing. So you've got an ozone accord, black spruce, cypress, we have fern, green leaf, violet leaf, galbanum, wild honeysuckle accord, cedarwood, agarwood, wild harvest patchouli, castoreum. There's oak moss absolute, there's civet absolute, and it's an absolutely really tremendous fragrance. So I think what was their little bit of blurb they said? They say that it's like walking in a lush green forest. Where's my little quote there? Yes, photorealistic and like being in a lush green forest in late autumn or early winter. So maybe if you've smelled, what was that one? It was called Dodo, wasn't it? From Zoologist, that had a similar kind of photorealistic lush greenery type smell. Very interesting. Maybe not everyone will get this or find it to their taste, but I think it's really, really wearable, very classy, very stylish, very, somebody who wears this is a thoughtful person. They're not just going to smell nice and pull hot chicks on a date, but they might just impress the right kind of person with Static Olfactive Into the Wild photorealistic green fragrance. I forgot to check the prices on that, but if you go to staticolfactive.com, I believe they ship widely around the world. I'm not totally sure. And I found them within a reasonable price range for a niche brand. Okay, that's 3. Last but not least, forgive me, I will mention one from our brand because I've been recently remembering not to forget to wear Chypre Fulminare, even though it's viewed in a slightly unfair way by some people as being one of our more wintry ones. And I don't think that that's the case at all. I think all of our fragrances are made to be worn all year round. We've now upgraded the packaging on Fulminare. So you get the nice carton, fancy box, beautiful presentation there with the velvety type of effect. And the bottle now has a nice plaque like that, whereas the previous one just had a paper kind of sticker. More importantly, the smell on this one, absolutely. This is our powerhouse fragrance, almost perhaps our most critically acclaimed fragrance from the brand overall. So where is the piece of paper that tells me all the notes? I should know the notes, really, shouldn't I? But I don't. Not off by heart. £115 in the UK or $140 in the USA. If you do buy 2 or more at Norton and Wilson at the moment, and we're going to keep that up as long as we possibly can, any 2 or more, add them to your basket, you get 20% off. You've got a lemon, lime, ylang ylang, and orange opening. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much. Varanis Ridari in the comments there says, Chypre Fulminare for me feels more spring, fall because of the theme, but it's not bad anytime, really. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's really good. And we also have pepper, incense, leather, vetiver, oak moss, and labdanum, castoreum, and ambergris. It means to strike like lightning, Fulminare, and this is an absolutely electrifying fragrance. It's really remarkable. I remember when we first smelt this from our perfumer, John Stephen, both myself and Mr. Wilson it gave us a massive wow factor. We really loved it. Absolutely stunning, complex, rich, fresh, combined with a kind of leathery and dark brooding undertone, but it really is a fantastically versatile and great. If you don't spray too much, you can wear this as a kind of, could be a signature scent. It just exudes class. So check out Scipula Fulminari from Norton and Wilson. I'm going to leave the edited part of the video there. Thank you for joining us if you are watching the replay, and don't forget to subscribe and like the video and all those kind of wonderful things. Remember, whatever you're doing in life, let's project. And although sometimes life can stink, at least we can always smell good, right? Bye-bye. At nortonandwilson.com, you can now get 20% off when you order any 2 or more individual 100ml bottles. Just add your items to the cart and the discount will be applied automatically.